Let's talk about one of the greatest stories ever told, the Trojan War. I mean, this is a tale that has it all. Clashing heroes, gods who can't help but meddle, and a magnificent city that was, well, destined for flames. So just think about that for a second. A war that lasts a full decade, the greatest warriors of an entire generation all in one place. And literal gods and goddesses picking sides and jumping into the fray? What on earth could possibly trigger that level of chaos? You probably guess it was about land or power or some massive political dispute, right? But the real reason was something much, much smaller. Yup, you heard that right, an apple. Not a grab for a throne, not a fight over territory, but a single golden apple. A piece of fruit that would end up bringing an entire kingdom to its knees. Wild, isn't it? To really get how this happened, we have to go back to the beginning. And the beginning was actually a wedding. A divine wedding, as it happens, where one guest who wasn't invited decided to, stir up a little trouble and set the stage for an absolute mortal catastrophe. Okay, so picture this. Eris, the goddess of discord, living up to her name for sure, crashes the party and rolls a golden apple into the room that says, "To the fairest." Instantly, three of the most powerful goddesses jump up to claim it. Hera, the queen of the gods, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Zeus, being the clever guy he is, wants no part of this decision, so he passes the buck to a mortal, a young Trojan prince named Paris. Each goddess tries to bribe him. Hera offers him ultimate power. Athena offers him supreme wisdom and victory. But Aphrodite, she offers him the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. And, well, Paris chooses love. And with that one choice, he pretty much seals the fate of his entire city. So, with that fateful decision made, the gods basically started moving their favorite human heroes around like pieces on a chessboard. So let's meet the main players in this epic drama. On one side, you have the invaders, a massive alliance of Greek kings, who the poets called the Achaeans. Now here's the thing. They were all bound by an oath to protect Helen's marriage to Menelaus, the king of Sparta. So when Paris sails off with Helen and takes her to Troy, this oath gets triggered, and 1,000 ships set sail to get her back. And on the other side, you've got the Trojans, digging in to defend their amazing city, and of course, their prince's, let's call it, a controversial prize. The Greek lineup was basically a dream team of legends. You've got Achilles, who's pretty much a one-man army and almost impossible to kill. Then there's Agamemnon, the powerful but really arrogant commander-in-chief. And you can't forget Odysseus, the brains of the operation, the master of strategy. Of course, you have Menelaus, the husband who started this whole thing, and Diomedes, a warrior so unbelievably fierce he actually wounded a couple of gods in battle. And facing them were the defenders of Troy. They were led by Hector, the noble and courageous prince, who was, frankly, everything his brother Paris was not. You've got Paris himself, the guy who caused all the trouble, their poor, aging father, King Priam, and the formidable Aeneas, who just so happened to have a goddess, Aphrodite in fact, for a mother. So, with heroes and gods stacked up on both sides, the stage was set for an epic clash. But here's the thing, this was not a quick fight. It turned into a brutal 10-year stalemate. A long, grinding siege filled with unbelievable moments of bravery and just tragic mistakes. And here's a perfect example of why this war just dragged on forever. At one point, everyone agrees to settle it the old-fashioned way. A one-on-one duel, Paris versus Menelaus, the winner gets Helen, and the war is over. Simple, right? Well, Menelaus completely dominates Paris and is just about to finish him off when, poof, Aphrodite swoops in, wraps Paris in a magical mist, and teleports him back to safety inside Troy's walls. Just like that, the chance for peace is gone, and the war just keeps on grinding. For all the strength of the Trojan walls and the incredible skill of Hector, the biggest threat to the Greeks, it actually came from themselves. It all came down to the explosive bride of their two greatest leaders. So here we are, in the 10th and final year of the war. Agamemnon publicly humiliates Achilles by taking away his war prize, a woman named Briseis. Achilles, absolutely furious, just says, "That's it, I'm done." And he and his men sit out the fight. Without him, the Greeks get hammered, pushed all the way back to their ships.
Seeing this, Achilles' best friend Patroclus begs to borrow his armor to rally the troops. But the plan goes horribly wrong. Hector kills Patroclus thinking he's Achilles. And that tragedy, it unleashes a version of Achilles nobody has ever seen. He returns to the battlefield not for glory, but for pure, terrifying vengeance. He hunts down Hector, and their duel seals Troy's fate for good.
But here's the crazy part. Even with Hector gone, Troy's walls were just too strong. After 10 long years, the Greeks finally had to admit that they were not going to win by force. The city would have to be taken by a trick. These are the famous, chilling words of a Trojan priest named Laocoon. You have to give him credit. He saw the danger when absolutely no one else did. But, unfortunately, a tragic fate was waiting for anyone who tried to get in the way of the gods' master plan. So yeah, the final victory didn't come from a sword or a spear. It came from a stratagem. Basically, a brilliant, carefully planned scheme designed to deceive. And the mind behind it was none other than the master of cunning himself, Odysseus. The genius of the plan was in its deception. The Greeks build this enormous wooden horse, pack it with their best soldiers, and then they all get in their ships and pretend to sail home. They leave one guy behind to sell a story, that the horse is a sacred offering to Athena. Now, Laocoon warns them not to trust it, and for his troubles, he's killed by giant sea serpents sent by the gods. So, the Trojans, they buy the story. They pull this huge horse into their city, they celebrate what they think is their victory, and they all go to sleep. And in the dead of night, Odysseus and his men creep out, open the city gates, and let the entire Greek army, which had just sailed back under the cover of darkness, right on in. What happened next wasn't really a battle, it was a slaughter. It was the complete end of a great city, and at the same time, the birth of a legend that would echo through all of time. Troy was utterly and completely destroyed. The city was burned to the ground. Its king was murdered at his own altar. Its heroes were all dead, and its people were either killed on the spot or sold into slavery. The Greek victory was absolute, and its sheer brutality would haunt them for generations to come. So after all that, you've got to be wondering, okay, how much of this is real? Well, archaeologists have actually found the ruins of a city that we are pretty sure was Troy, and there's evidence that it was violently destroyed right around the time the war was supposed to have happened. But the story of the meddling gods, the nearly invincible heroes, and of course, the giant wooden horse, that all belongs to the world of myth, a powerful myth that has shaped so much of our world. And that really just leaves us with one last thought. The swords of the ancient Greeks conquered the city of Troy over 3,000 years ago. But the story of that war, the one told by poets like Homer, that story has conquered time itself. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which victory is actually more powerful in the end?